Good evening, everyone. We're just giving it one moment so that everyone in the waiting room can join us. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Kalamazoo Institute of Arts exciting evening with the artist Ginny Ruffner, a renowned artist whose exhibition Reforestation of the Imagination opens on Saturday. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. My name is Jessica Sundstrom, and I am the museum educator here at the KIA and one of your hosts for this evening. Before we begin, some quick housekeeping. First, we are recording this event, so please be aware of this. Second, we ask that you remain on mute for the duration of the program. There will be time for Q&A at the end, but we respectfully ask that all questions be typed into the chat box. Please make sure to address questions either to the KIA account directly or to everyone. You are welcome to type questions into the chat as they occur to you throughout the program, and then I will read the questions aloud during the Q&A. The exhibition, Reforestation of the Imagination, opens with a member preview tomorrow night at 5:30 p.m. If you are a member, we would love for you to join us. If you are not yet a member, please consider joining for an early preview, among other perks. The exhibition opens to the public on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. To view the exhibition in all of its augmented reality glory, you will need an app called Reforestation, which can be downloaded for free from the App Store, whichever device kind you have. It can be accessed from smartphones and tablets, and we will have some tablets for loan in the galleries. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce the Kalamazoo Institute of Arts' Executive Director, Belinda Tate, who will introduce our honored guest, Ginny Ruffner.
Thank you, Jessica. And I hope I will see many of you here for our member preview tomorrow evening and for our exhibition when it opens on Saturday. It's going to be very, very exciting. As Jessica mentioned in her opening, many of the works in Reforestation of the Imagination are glass-blown sculptures that reveal artworks that seem magical when viewed through the free augmented reality app, Reforestation. The app was developed by Ms. Ruffner and her collaborators. Take the time now to download Reforestation on your phone or tablet before you come to the KIA. This will help you capture the full experience on your cell phone or tablet when you visit the galleries. As Jessica mentioned, of course, we will also have tablets available for you to borrow while you are on site. This unique installation shows Ms. Ruffner's imaginings of a gloriously complex and colorful alternative environment. Viewers initially encounter a seemingly barren and bleak environment of tree stumps. But in the artist's re-envisioned reality, the trunks grow unique appendages of many mythical examples of plant life. Some of Ruffner's creations whirl and flourish with human interaction. Reforestation of the Imagination not only challenges society's notions of reality and fantasy, concrete and abstract, desolation and hope, but it also calls attention to current ecological issues. I am thrilled to share this evening with a great artist, Ginny Ruffner. Ms. Ruffner is based in Seattle and was trained at the University of Georgia, graduating with honors and an MFA in drawing and painting. She has had more than 85 solo exhibitions and several hundred group shows. Her flame-worked and mixed media sculptures and public installations can be found in numerous national and international collections. She has also created multiple augmented reality projects with her collaborators, Grant Kirkpatrick and Elijah Evanson. She has written 2 books and been the subject of an award-winning full-length documentary entitled A Not So Still Life, The Ginny Ruffner Story. Ms. Ruffner has lectured and taught extensively and has served as artist in residence at schools and universities around the world. Let's show Ms. Ginny Ruffner a warm Kalamazoo welcome. And without further ado, I present to you artist Ginny Ruffner.
Thank you very, very much. Let me share my screen. Let's see here. I hope, let's see. We have done this several times, but of course, you know, it's always let's see. Oh, then can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so I'll just begin my this. This is, since the show is not open yet, I'll have to show you images of what it looks like at the Smithsonian DC. So you can see it was these land masses with various tree stumps. And now I'm going to show you. Let's see how it was made. If I can, first I'll show you how the glass stumps are made. They were made at the Museum of Glass in Tacoma. So, and the good thing about the side is you can see how big they are. It was quite the feat to make them all. Each one was made out of clear glass with a white glass on the edges so that we could paint that with the pattern. So this is how the augmented reality AR was created. It is created first by creating an animation, which we did using Maya, and then translated it. The game engine was Unity for those geeks who care about that stuff. And so that's creating the animation that will be what is driven by the computer. And we created the animations from my drawings. We use my drawings as something to guide us to create the animations. And then you'll remember those stumps with their white ends. Well, the white ends were sandblasted and then painted. And a little bit about AR, just to let you know. Augmented reality is truly barcode technology, but in that technology, it is not necessary to have straight black and white lines. That's just the easiest thing to do. That's why they do it in the grocery stores. But what you do need to do is make high contrast, non-repeating, non-bilaterally symmetrical images that can be read by the computer, by the camera. So that's what these were, and we had to go back and forth to make sure they were high enough contrast. So it was a lot of R&D at that point. And you can see on the left, that is, when you hold the iPad up, you see how that purple flower appears on the top of that stump. And on the right, you can see how still photo that. So basically, it's the camera in the iPad or the iPhone is cued by the app on there to, when it recognizes a certain pattern, it creates or deploys the animation. Very geeky. Here we are determining the ideal distance you should be from the image to make it deploy without jittering, and a lot of R&D work on it. So the land masses, how are they made? Well, this is you'll see in the showing columns, this is the central land mass. And it's created by, first we had to build up the shape with styrofoam, then shoot it with black styrofoam, then carve it down a little bit, and then create details with the blow-in styrofoam, and then sculpt that by scraping and gluing and so forth to create the appropriate shape. You can see it's kind of a mess. And they have to just polish that down a little bit better and start coating it with fiberglass. So that's where we began putting the fiberglass over the styrofoam and resin. And this is, as we made the land masses, we made them not in my studio and brought them to my studio so that we could check the stumps to make sure they could be read accurately and easily and not be bumped or anything like that. So there we are, bringing in one of the land masses. That shows you, I think there are 6 land masses altogether. And when I was creating this exhibition, I had to make each one and make a specific place for the stump to fit, so it would be stable and you would be able to kick it or bump it, and it would bring it not only up to the right height, but not so far up that you couldn't see what was deployed from it. And the first showing of it, this is, we had carried the land masses in one at a time. You can see how big they are, kind of. And then once they got in there, we touched them up and painted them to be more dirt rock-like. So they were touched up in place. And the central tree that's in the middle landmass, of course, as always, as all things in art do, it began with a drawing. Then I worked with several welders, and one of the most gifted of them I worked in close collaboration with to create something that could fit on top of land masses and do what I wanted it to do. So this is what that particular piece looks like on the landmass in my studio. And when you go to the exhibit and you have your phone or iPad out and you are deploying the image, if you touch the button in the upper right-hand corner, it will tell you what the plant is. And of course, one of the more fun parts of this was I got to make that all up. So after the plants were created, I thought, now what am I going to name them? So I checked out the Latin words for what the plant represented or did and created the name from that. Then I created a little bit of text to describe what each one did. And they're all different. I tried to be like the usual taxonomy is written. And the interesting was at every single opening I've been to, when you deploy this, when you call up this botanical description, most people believe it's real. I had several people get really mad at me that these plants were not real. I thought that was really amusing. Okay, so what about the other stuff I do? Well, I still do a lot of glass sculpture. This piece is about 20 inches wide. And this is Giga Tornado. It's about 24 inches tall. And what I really want to do, but I want to do this with technology, but it doesn't exist yet. So I figured, well, I'll make it of glass to begin with, and then we'll let everybody catch up with me. So what I want to make in technology is a little, maybe 2 foot tall tornado that will you'll be able to program it to run around the room, and it will have a soundtrack of how an infant or toddler sometimes gets tickled and they can't stop laughing. That soundtrack, I think that would be the greatest thing to have, that running around your room. I'd love it. So I don't know how to make it out of glass yet. Or take it. Out of glass. Here's another one about the new kind of beauty that technological art is bringing about. Now this is one I made a glass sculpture that you'll see. Here it is, actually deploys. So this is what it will do when you look at it with the app. And his antlers bloom at the very end. right now. Yeah. Isn't that cool? And so what am I doing now? Well, this is what from another AR show about what plants and animals did not diverge, but and as they developed, what might have developed from it. And so this is a fish that developed off the coast of Amsterdam with a tulip on top that it uses as bait to catch its prey. Now this piece is, you can see in the lower right-hand quadrant of that image, it's a window. It's the Bainbridge Museum of Art. I'm having a retrospective there next November. And this is a 20-foot high, 10-foot wide depiction of the Aurora Borealis. And it made of 35,000 1mm LEDs that are individually programmable, and they're programmed with a GAN, which is kind of like a neural net of the actual aurora. So it's going to be pretty bright. And then it will go to the Nordic Museum after that. And this will be in that retrospective as well. You see behind it, see the bottom part of the image, that is the periodic table. Well, I had a periodic table made of tapestry in Amsterdam, and now I'm creating the elements to deploy from it. That was carbon, and it bloomed and then became a buckyball, which is technically C60. Other stuff. This is I also do, besides AR and glass, I do public art. This is called Urban Garden. That's me standing in front of it. It's on the corner in downtown Seattle. The flowers all move and the watering can tips and waters. And if you look to the left of my head, you can see there's a little window for geeks like me who want to see what's going on in there. And one last project I'm going to describe is Sola. It's a nonprofit I created 5 years ago called Support for Old Lady Artists. We give away money to female artists in Washington State over the age of 60 who've been doing it for over 20 years. But you never know what's going to happen, so prepare for the unexpected. I hope you enjoyed it. Please ask questions.
Ginny, thank you so very much for sharing your exhibition with us and sharing some of the process, how you make it, the photos of the land masses as they're being created, more or less like quote unquote behind the scenes. It's very interesting to see. We have a question that says, do you have a favorite piece in the exhibition or one that was the most challenging to create?
Mm-hmm. Well, saying you have a favorite piece is kind of like saying who's your favorite child. It's really hard to say. I was just so thrilled to have everything work. It was, to have things do what you want them to do is really a thrill. What I love about that show is the underlying feeling of hope, and the hope, or not the only the hope, but the belief that nature will come back better and more beautiful no matter what we do.
Thank you. And I think as our audience members join us at the exhibition and they read the labels and they read about how the plants have adapted, they'll really get that sense of hope. I was wondering, where did you first get the idea, or when did you first get the idea to blend your glass art and your 2D art into augmented reality?
Back in 2014, I was invited down to Florida to go to a company called Magic Leap, and they were the ones who developed the very beginning, very rudimentary augmented reality. So I went down there and they showed me what they were working on, and I was blown away. I just completely I came home and I started looking, found a person who could tutor me and how to create that. I thought, well, I don't know, I have no idea what I'm going to do, but this is just too cool not to use. But as anybody who's done any CGI or animation knows, it ain't easy. There's a reason why all those, at the end of a Pixar movie, hundreds and hundreds of names roll by. I know why. It takes that many people to do that stuff. It takes forever. But it is just so cool. I thought the thing I've always wanted my work to do is to make people think. I don't care what they think or how they think it. I just want them to use that wonderfully human ability we have. And if I can inspire people to think, then I've succeeded. So,
Thank you. And we have a comment in the chat. You were just talking about how much work it takes, and you referenced the Pixar credits. So there is a comment in the chat that says the works are both creative and labor intensive to make. And then someone says it looks like you are inspired by the garden behind you.
exactly. Now this garden, to show you, see there's 2 tornadoes hanging on the ceiling, and I have like 14 trees hanging on the ceiling, and all this wonderful garden stuff is fake. It was my COVID project, but I have a gorgeous, gorgeous garden that is in the back, and that does inspire me to no end. That it's just amazing when you go out and really look at a plant and what it's doing and how it's doing it. It's truly inspiring. There's no way I could even come close to that creativity, but at least I can celebrate it.
What a great sentiment. Can you tell us about the exhibition catalog and how it was developed?
Well, we didn't want to do a plain old, kind of list of what's in the exhibition and a photo of everything. So it was conceived of as a kind of a field guide, which was a more appropriate way to approach a catalog for this type of exhibition. So basically it's got in it a little in the I believe it's the upper right hand corner of each spread, there's a small 2-inch square that will deploy the images of each animation, which is pretty cool. And there are all the text about each one is in there. And I believe there's an interview, something that I haven't looked at in a while. But I think we've lost our moderator. Well, there you are.
I was grabbing my catalog.
Oh, great.
And so
Okay.
since you were talking about what people could see inside of it, I thought I would demonstrate what you were talking about.
Wait, thanks. So there's an image of the drawing that it was created from, and then on the right there's an image of what the animation is that's deployed, and then the upper right there's a little piece that you can actually deploy from if you point your camera at it. And the other imagery just to the left of that is the actual island where that particular stump resides. Thanks, Jess.
Yes, and we do have these in the KIA gift shop, and they're very interesting. You can keep the exhibition with you when the exhibition has left Kalamazoo, because you can deploy the augmented reality plant using this and get the information about it. And I wanted to ask you about all of the research that you must have done to create these plants, because as you mentioned, you have got their Latin names, and then a name in English, and then you've got the naming conventions, and you have like their tactics for how they spread their pollen or their seeds. You've got what kind of climates they grow in. It must have taken a lot of research and a lot of time to come up with these ideas.
Well, I'm a gardener, so it was really pretty easy. And like that was one of the most fun parts of it, just making up stuff. And if we look at each flower, what it does, like say the windmill flower, it looks like a windmill. And so I went with that, and I went to a Latin dictionary and I looked up for that one, it was wind, which is Veneto, and generating, which I can't remember the name of that one. But so then I just used that as the Latin name, and I made up the rest of it totally. I mean, I know a lot about plants from being a gardener for so long, and I definitely know about reading those types of books. So it's pretty easy. It took a while, but it was, one of those jobs that you find, oh, this is fun, and the hours just go by. That was it.
Yeah, it must have been so fun to create them.
Yeah.
Are you still creating new versions of your imaginary flowers?
Well, the other future project I'm working on now that I didn't get to talk about because I don't have any images I could put in the PowerPoint yet is Okay, long story. I don't know if you are there in Michigan aware of the part of the state called the Tri-Cities area where the city of Hanford is, but it's way on the eastern side of the state, and it's where they've done uranium enrichment for all the bombs. They did the Hiroshima bomb. They enriched the uranium in Hanford. So it's really toxic and it's middle of nowhere and it's like a desert. Well, it turns out it's a great place to put labs. So they have a huge amount of Bechtel National Science Labs, and there's one besides the Hanford Uranium Project. There's another big, huge project called LIGO, LIGO, which is owned by the National Science Foundation, operated by Caltech and MIT, and stands for Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory. And it's shaped like an L. And each of the arms of the L are 4.5 kilometers long. It's huge. So, and gravitational waves were predicted in 1915 by Einstein, and they were not been able to track or measure until 2015 when they were measured at LIGO. And in 2017, they won a Nobel for this. Well, they have just started building a new visitor center. So they called me, this is funny, they called me a few months ago and said who they were. Of course, I didn't know. And they said, we want you to make something for our new visitor center. I said, wonderful, I would love to. What do you want? We don't know. Well, what's your budget? We don't know. Well, how about what's your timeline? We don't know. We just know we want you to do it, which is enormously flattering to my geeky heart. So I'm making a augmented reality walking tour. So it will have various targets. You know how in this exhibition, that'll be in Kalamazoo, the targets are the ends of the stumps. Well, so at LIGO, I had to find at least five targets. So I'm using one of the targets is their Nobel Prize, which they have there. One of the targets is the kill switch in the control room. One of the targets is the very first gravitational wave detector. It's been really exciting for me to be able to interact with all the scientists. And so, okay, I'm told you about the targets. The animations that they will deploy have been hard for me because the audience is mainly K through 12. And there are a lot of indigenous, native Yakima children, and there are a lot of Hispanic agricultural children, and so I had to decide, do I want to actually have any sound? Will it be bilingual? But no, there are too many languages. And anyway, so bottom line is I decided that I want to intrigue the audience and I don't want to piss off the scientists. So I don't want to explain what gravitational waves are. I just want to create curiosity, create questions for the children to ask the scientists. So that's what I've been doing, creating animations that have to do with the creation of gravitational waves, and just in a very poetic way, I hope. So I'm not making attention. That's a long-winded answer to your question. No, I'm not specifically making plants right now, but I'm making more extraterrestrial kind of things.
Thank you. That project sounds so interesting. Do they have a timeline for that yet?
Well, yeah, sort of. They very optimistically believe that the visitor center will be finished on time and on budget, which is, like I said, very optimistic, very idealistic. But scientists tend to be that way. But so idealistically, they're hoping to be done in April. So that's what I'm shooting for.
You sound like you're very, very busy. So thanks so much for sparing some time for us today.
I'm happy to do it.
Another question in the audience, do you have any advice for anyone who wants to learn augmented reality?
Read a lot, read whatever you can. And if you can find somebody, and I'm sure you can, in Kalamazoo or in one of the nearby universities, I'm sure that you can find somebody who knows how to do AR. But you'd be surprised how much you can get by reading. Now, another thing that most people know, the most banal form of AR, which was Pokemon Go. Remember that about a year ago? So you can follow that thread as well.
Yes, the Kalamazoo Institute of Arts was once a Pokemon Go stop, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that might be to interact with whomever you had to interact with to create the target. Perhaps they could be, that's the thing about learning anything. You have to be persistent, be curious, follow all the leads, try everything.
That's a wonderful message. And I've spent a bit of time looking into the art you have created. And I think you really live up to that message of trying everything. It's been wonderful to see. And I'm so excited for our Kalamazoo audience to come in this weekend, hopefully as soon as you can, to see the exhibition. Just as a reminder, the member preview starts tomorrow night at 5:30. And we open at 11 a.m. on Sunday and 11 a.m. on Saturday and 12 p.m. on Sunday. So this is our opening weekend for this really fantastic exhibition. And the app that you need is called Reforestation. You can download it on your tablet or on your phone.
From the App Store or Google Play, either one.
Yep. The Android store is Google Play, and the Apple one, I think, is just the Apple Store. It's an either one, and it's a free download. And we will, of course, have tablets. And one person in the audience has said they can't wait to see it. And we can't wait to welcome you. I would love to invite our audience, if you have any other questions. There have been such great questions tonight. Thank you so much. But if you have any other questions, to type them into the chat. And let's see, what do you think is / could be the future of the use of augmented reality in fine art?
In fine art, I think augmented reality is going to change the definition of fine art, but let's assume that by that you mean painting and sculpture the way it exists today. And I think the use of AR is, well, I think the most fun thing would be to be able to alter sculptures or paintings, kind of like contemporary graffiti without any destruction at all. There would be no permanent changes to it, but perhaps you as an individual artist could augment what exists. That might be what is done, but I hope that it's something I can't even imagine. Because if I can imagine it, then it's too close to being reality. I hope it's something that will surprise me.
Thank you for that great answer. An educator has typed in, if you were the guide for young students at the Kalamazoo Institute of Arts during your exhibition, what would you want them most to notice?
How maybe their idea of what art is or should be is not what they thought. It doesn't have to be paintings that hang on the wall or statues that stand on a pedestal. It can be anything, and it can surprise you if you see something in it that you didn't expect.
That's a great answer. Thank you. This has been such a great interactive evening, and we still have a little bit more time. So I do want to again invite the audience to type any questions into the chat. Ginny, I've watched the movie A Not So Still Life, and I know that at one point you say that people associate you as a glass artist, but that you're not just a glass artist. And in the film A Not So Still Life, you get to see lots and lots of kinds of things of the art you have created. So do you consider yourself a multimedia artist? Is that sort of the tag you would give yourself?
I think I just prefer artist. I think that if you are creative, you find so many ways to get excited about the world. So I don't want to limit myself to a media or a format. Just plain artist suits me fine.
Thank you. And with your answer for the what would you like young artists and young children to see, another person said that was a beautiful sentiment for all children and adults.
Good. Yeah.
So is that, oh, here we go. Our theme at the KIA right now is health, healing, restoration, and rejuvenation. What advice do you have for us?
The theme is health, healing, rejuvenation, and restoration. Well, I think perhaps anything can, whether it's petting your cat, taking vitamins, getting enough sleep, making art that really satisfies your soul, all those things can provide the health and rejuvenation you're mentioning. And I would just, what would I say? Relax and make art.
I like that. Relax and make art. It's a good message for all. However that is for you.
Mhm.
Well, we are almost at the end of our time, and I think we have seen just how many projects you've got going on, and they all sound so exciting. If anyone would like to type a last minute question into the chat, we still have a few moments. But this has been so wonderful. It's been so nice to see. And for the video that I've been able to see, I've seen lots of smiles from our audience members. And really, really excited to see this exhibition. We at the KIA have been waiting for this exhibition since pre everything that happened in 2020. We've been planning for this exhibition, and so we're so excited that we were able to bring it to Kalamazoo and able to introduce this idea that art isn't just what fine art isn't just maybe statues and paintings on the wall. It can involve augmented reality, and it can involve things that we haven't even thought of yet. And art will always be changing. And I think you've given us so many wonderful messages to take with us. Is there a final thought that you would like to leave us with?
I'm just so happy that you were patient and waited for this pandemic to kind of abate a little bit so we could enjoy the show together. I'm so happy that it's going to be in Kalamazoo. I don't know if I told you this, but for God, when I was maybe 5 to age 10, I lived in Trenton, Michigan. So it's not that close to you, but it's closer than I am now.
Well, thank you so very much to Ginny Ruffner, amazing artist, for your generous time and all of your knowledge and all of your wisdom. One final reminder to our audience, if you are a member, the member preview is tomorrow night at 5:30 p.m. And you can pre-register for your ticket online at www.kiarts.org. And we highly recommend pre-registration. At 11 a.m. on Saturday morning, it opens to the public. We are open we're open Wednesday through Sunday. And we really can't wait for you to come and to get to see this amazing exhibition and, to think about these messages of hope that we are all in need of perhaps right now, and that Ginny has so generously shared with us. So thank you so much to our wonderful audience for joining us. And thank you so very much to our wonderful artist friend, Ginny Ruffner, for your time. Everyone have a wonderful evening.
Thanks.
And a wonderful day to you on your side of the states. Goodbye, everyone.